All right, I'm about to do something revolutionary here. This podcast is brought to you by NordVPN. Go to nordvpn.com/BHLHudson or use code BHLHudson to save 72% off a 2-year plan, plus get 1 month for free. Hello, everyone.
What has this got? What has happened?
now I'm thrown off.
Are we sponsored?
We are. By we, I mean I.
We are. No, I believe it's only because of me. No.
Yeah. You famously do own the coupon code BHLHudson.
I did patent that.
We are now officially a sponsored podcast.
God damn.
Again,
does it feel?
It is still my code that I'm just promoting in my podcast, but I got permission to do it, so so I don't know if I can technically say we're sponsored, but whatever. This podcast is brought to you by NordVPN, I guess.
Anyway, also not at all.
Anyway, hello everyone, and welcome to the 127th episode of the Poorly Planned Podcast. My name is Benedict. You may know me better as BHL Hudson. Here we talk about movies. May know me better as Code BHL Hudson. Here we talk about movies, TV shows, a bunch of nonsense. With me, as always, is my friend, co-host, and technically not sponsored, but maybe sponsored. I don't know. I actually should look into the legality of this. But Freddie is here as well.
But sponsored or not, he's present.
How we doing?
We're doing all right, honestly. In regards to the pod's topic today, I did in fact go and watch The Batman yesterday.
Yeah, well, we might have a little something to say about that later on.
I'm
curious to hear your thoughts on.
Yeah, because we couldn't hear spoilers, or we couldn't do spoilers last time. Now we can spoil the shit out of it.
Big moves. Yeah. So today's topic is we're gonna hit. I only have one mini review. We have a bit of news, but it's pretty speed roundy worthy news. And then we're gonna talk about Batman movies because topical stuff. The Batman did recently release a couple weeks ago.
Is this all Batman movies? Or?
Yeah, so I thought we'd go through, because I'm pretty sure we've never done an episode where we went through all the Batman movies. So this is going to be interesting given that we've not prepped at all. And I'm just kind of going to go okay, so Adam West's Batman, thoughts?
And I've only seen, Bale, Affleck, and now Pattinson. I haven't seen any of the other ones.
Well, should be a banging episode if you ask me. Also,
of course.
I am, and this is... I'm sure this isn't the first time we've done this, but the first time since the podcast lately, I feel like we've uncensored ourselves a little bit. I will say, just a turning point in a man's life. This is one of the first podcasts I've done hungover, so that should be a good one because I have to say, I growing up listening to the Weekly Planet, there were many episodes where, especially towards the start, where James would open the episode by saying, "I'm so hungover right now," and it always gave me a good chuckle. It's a fun vibe, And finally,
and now you provide the chuckle.
I've reached the peak of being arguably too tired to do this, but also let's talk about some Batman movies. Am I fucking?
But also, I'm a raging alcoholic. Let's go.
Yeah, again, we don't encourage drinking. Don't drink. It makes you feel bad in the morning.
He says this, guys, as he's sitting with his Smirnoff bottle.
But first, let's talk Peacemaker.
One joke.
So finally, I think the worst part of this podcast is when we have to review TV shows and we do it one of us has seen 5 episodes, the other's seen 3, and then the next time someone's seen 7.
We're not very lined up.
No, but finally we can wrap it up. I did watch the finale of Peacemaker. Spoilers. Great show we talked about last week. The only thing I really think we have to say for Peacemaker finale, what a joke. Not a joke. Great finale. The cameos.
Brilliant finale. The cameos, yes.
Come on. The Momoa, the
Momoa.
What's the guy called who plays Barry Allen? Brunchman. Brunchman McGee.
I believe.
Ezra Miller.
Something like that. We're the Millers. Whatever, kid.
Jason Sudeikis, I believe his name is.
I believe that will be Rachel from Friends.
But yeah, I thought it was hilarious because they at first I thought it was just gonna be their silhouettes because they couldn't actually get them to show up, but then they have Aquaman and Barry have a little exchange. It's oh my god, they got the Momoa in. It was
they got the Momoa and Barry. Arguably probably Momoa's pretty expensive, right? But
yeah, but Ezra is busy doing Fantastic Beasts films.
He's hit rock bottom.
It's almost a charity to give him this.
Of all, it's the only thing he could get all year. It's almost, he is definitely the least paid of the entire Justice League.
let's not get into that. Anyway, it's a great episode and a fun little cameo.
It is a fun cameo,
and that's all I am seeing Uncharted tonight. big excitement. I was going to go see Death on the Nile or Dog, but somehow neither of them are playing anymore. So it was either Uncharted.
Have you missed the opportunity for both?
Yeah, I'll get to it. It's either Uncharted or Sing 2, and I managed to weasel my way into Uncharted of those. So
what a win for you.
I'm living large.
I can either go watch this horrible kids movie that's really not very good, or go watch an actual movie that's not very good either.
Yeah, then watch a thoroughly average Holland Wahlberg adventure. Well, anyway,
Wahlburgers.
So that's the mini things. Do you have any mini reviews?
I feel like I do. Ooh,
Jesus.
Yes, it's time. Cue the intro.
All right.
Is it like 3 episodes I've missed now?
Probably. You've been very inconsistent.
It's gonna be
You've been a terrible podcaster, one could argue.
Attack on Titan.
Yep.
Final season episodes.
How many more episodes are there?
I think there's like 6 more to come.
Oh God. I mean, great. Good.
Oh fuck. I mean, that's brilliant.
Well, how's it been?
It's been thoroughly amazing. It's been so good. Like as I've said before, the entire season is so like it's taking such a different direction than what it did before. And now it's like the first 6 episodes or so have been this like grand, like completely insane opening. And now it's kind of like the aftermath of that and how they're trying to like either stop or like further what's happened and stuff like that. And the character is just so good, and it's such a complex thing. Like it really delves into like a lot of like there's a whole. I mean, are you gonna watch it? Be honest with me. Okay, so like there's like a whole euthanasia plan and stuff like that. It's insane stuff.
God.
And yeah, it gets messed up, and then also just the action and the animation is so good, and a character who was presumed dead just returned, injured but still alive. It was just so good. And the music score is just so good. And now like it's very much like you have a hard time kind of like knowing who to root for, because the protagonist has basically become the antagonist, and his like friends and stuff. I know, what a twist. And his friends, whilst they love and support him, they're trying to stop him because he's basically trying to. So, let me give you a little lore here.
I don't.
No. Let me explain.
We have 8 Batman movies to talk about.
No. Believe me, it's just short.
I'm too hungover for this. Okay, go for it.
Where's the alcohol? The best way to cure a hangover is to get a new one. So basically, they live on this island that's been attacked by the rest of the world, and now he's gained a weapon to kill the rest of the world in order to save their island. But his friends are like, nah, killing the rest of the world isn't the way to go forward. Now they're trying to stop him, but they also love him. It's a whole complex scenario, BHL Hudson.
Goodness.
72% off.
Okay. You've redeemed your anime segment. Goodness. Well, it does sound intriguing.
Don't humor me.
Okay, fine. I don't give a shit.
Just sit in silence and accept it.
All right. No, but it sounds like it's living up to your expectations, which I assume are high.
So patronizing.
I'm sorry. I'm trying here.
It sounds like it's a good show for your little pea brain.
Brilliant. Okay, well, no, good stuff. Keep us updated on that. I'm not even trying to be patronizing. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to. Anyway, news time.
Right, yeah, okay. Swiftly moves on.
Well, now it's a bit of a news time. Bit of a fun news time.
It's a bit of a news time. Fun news time.
Did you hear that the Penguin, Colin Farrell, is getting his own HBO Max show?
I did hear that.
Now, what do you think? How are we feeling?
About this or in general? Because both amazing.
Because since I heard this news, fantastic.
Since I heard this news, I have not stopped smiling. I don't know. Like, I liked him in the movie a lot. I think, like, first of all, he's so unrecognizable, and the accent and everything.
Which I loved.
I love that I don't have to see that ugly coach mug of his.
Handsome man. Just want to put that up there.
He's a very handsome man.
Yeah.
The Penguin, that is.
I mean, initially I heard this and I was like, all right, like this, I don't really see why we need a spin-off. But then again, that's also what I thought when I heard they were doing a What a Humorous Event show.
What a jovial point in time.
And that turned out to be one of my favorite shows in a long time. So
yeah, such a good show.
Yeah, I guess it would be like about the seedy underbelly of, crime, Gotham mob stuff. I'm sure they'd get
seeing Farrell as like the main character. I think it'd be kind of fun.
Could be interesting.
I think as you said before, he was one of the more fun things in this movie.
Yeah.
So like I think he could probably carry his own show.
And they're probably going to bring in other elements of the movie, like Commissioner Gordon will probably show up and, whatnot. So, I think kind of exciting. I think I've just been burnt because, like, I watched the first season of Gotham, where it's also like a fucking Penguin origin story. I mean, that's not what the whole show is about, but it essentially felt like that. Not really, but it was not a good time.
I'm lying out of my ass right now.
He doesn't make an appearance. But anyway, I guess on the back of Peacemaker, what a joke, I'm pretty excited. Did you see Tom Hanks, a.k.a. Tom Wanks, as Geppetto in Pinocchio?
No, I did not.
So
that whole Pinocchio thing,
you what?
Like, have you heard the... You what?
The fuck did you just say to me?
What do you think about the
animated Pinocchio thing? Well, part of my point with this was going to be, it's kind of nice to see so from what I can tell from this picture, this is like an officially licensed, like, Disney, like, one of those, like, Cinderella type remakes, live action.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's a live action one. I see. It's not he doesn't voice someone in the new Pinocchio movie.
No. And the thing is, I kind of like that a little bit just because I feel like, is it just me, or have there been, like, a million Pinocchio things in the past few years where, like, and they've all been, like, a weird reimagining.
I think that is absolutely just you. I cannot think of apart from the most recent Father Pinocchio.
But there's one where he's like this creepy wooden boy that was apparently kind of good, and then there's one that like Guillermo del Toro is making or something, and then there was one that like Robert Downey Jr. was supposed to be in. Regardless, there have been all these like slightly off-brand. I know he's like a public domain character, or whatever, but like slightly off-brand Pinocchio characters. I love this. Such an absurd rant I'm going on right now, but like it kind of was nice to see something that looks.
I feel like you just woke up in the middle of a dream, like, what am I doing here? Why am I ranting about Pinocchio movies?
I'm like, why am I sitting here hungover on like a Friday afternoon ranting about how much I hate the various Pinocchio interpretations? But I was just thinking, like, seeing
something no one's ever said before. That sentence right there.
Seeing like something that looks, I don't know, like how Pinocchio looks. Feels good. Anyway, let's move on. Also, Tom Hanks...
You've got strong and weird opinions about Pinocchio.
Also, Tom Hanks, contender, if this movie's coming out this year, for Mustache of the Year. Looking very mustachioed. And he has this, like, gray hair.
But, like, in the same year as Poirot, is anyone really going to take
No,
it?
I mean, like, I say contender,
Okay.
I didn't say win.
He'll be a safe last place. Commissioner Gordon... Also pretty powerful stash,
Yeah, that was, that was a good one. And also, speaking of which, great, like, difference from Gotham, where Commissioner Gordon, zero stash. Fucks up with that Gotham.
Zero stash.
Fucks up with that show that I don't even think is going anymore. Did you see the trailer for DC Super Pets?
I did not.
It's an animated DC comedy children's film in which Dwayne Johnson and Kevin Hart voice the dogs of Superman and Batman.
That sounds awful. I'm sorry. It does not sound very good.
And Batman is voiced by Keanu Reeves. Look, I mean, it's a kid's movie, so obviously it's not going to, like, look, amazing or whatever to us, but it does, it looks like it has a little bit of that, like, kind of Lego movie charm, where it could be, it looks like one where if you're a parent, you take your kid to it, which I know our demographic is 100% parents who will get NordVPN, linked down below.
Very clever.
Like, it doesn't look like it'd be a nightmare to watch. Like, it's not like a Minions 2 The Rise of Gru situation, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. I said I've not seen that, so I'm not sure, but...
it hasn't come out yet, but I'm just assuming. Also, Super Pets
was... It's not in production. I'm just assuming they'll make it.
Dwayne Johnson, a little bit of dwoos for you, announced via his Instagram that Super Pets has been moved to July 29th, and Black Adam has been moved to October 21st. So those were supposed to come out sooner than that, I guess, and they've been moved for whatever reason. Is The Rock not...
Dwayne probably said, Black Adam can be put on hold. I need to finish Super Pets.
Well, I also love how he wrote it like... and no, I mean, you gotta appreciate The Rock's attempts to make life happy, because he is, like, normally when people are announcing their movies delayed, it's like, yeah, pandemic, whatever. He makes it sound like it's, like, super intentional and happy. He's like, big and exciting news. Super Pets will be released July 29th. One hot summer fire emoji. Black Adam will be released October 21st, right before Halloween and playing through Thanksgiving and Christmas. Pumpkin emoji, turkey emoji. Santa Claus emoji, fire emoji, alcohol emoji. Anyway.
Alcohol emoji. Is that his tequila that he's always promoting?
Probably. I mean, I assume it's not pandemic related, because isn't the pandemic kind of slowing down? I don't really know.
I have no clue. I just know that we're not that impacted by it here.
Yeah. I follow the rules, and I'm like, we don't have to wear masks anymore. I'm like, all right. Anyway, it's exciting stuff, I guess. Not really. The movie's delayed. I don't know why, though. Maybe it is good stuff. I didn't watch his video. Sorry, Dwayne. Florence Pugh is going to be in Dune 2. More like Tune.
Florence Pugh's name always weirdly
more like Florence Pugh 2. Anyway, so I think Florence Pugh is a great actress, and I'm excited for Dune 2 Tune. Dune 2 Tuning.
Tune.
Henry Cavill and Dua Lipa, first image of them in Matthew Vaughn's next film, Argylle. They're like dancing and looking all fancy. There was also a picture of Henry Cavill from...
dancing, looking like fancy.
Henry Cavill from some movie. It might have been this, where he has like a really straightened high up hair. And I was like, that is not the look, Cavill. Just pointing it out there.
What, like his sides are shaved or what?
No, it's really just like pushed upwards. And I'm like, it looks
like a Lego man.
Yeah, like kind of cartoonishly. And I'm like a mad scientist almost, but just like directly up. And I'm like, Cavill, like you definitely pulled off the stash, but you did not pull this off.
Is that in this movie as well, or is that another project?
I think it might be in this movie, actually. So yeah. Anyway, excited for that. There was actually a thing about Sebastian Stan talking about body image that I thought was quite interesting and like quite well put, but I'm too hungover to talk about that in a way it deserves. So maybe we'll save that for another time. No, it was actually a very I thought it was actually a really important discussion that again we should have at a better time.
It's probably just him like fat shaming people. No,
it's the opposit. It's
just him sitting there and calling people fat that walk by on the street.
It's not. See,
it's actually really poignant and well put.
See, this is why we can't talk about it now, because I thought it was actually a really well done thing, and now we've just turned into this. We'll talk about some other time. And finally, I Am Legend 2 is happening with Will Smith and Michael B. Jordan.
How? He's dead.
Yeah, okay. I haven't seen it, but from like my vaguest knowledge of pop culture, I'm pretty sure he dies at the end of that.
He does.
Maybe
he blows himself up.
Maybe they do the thing that they did in Kingsman 2, where they're like, we have a cure for gunshot wounds to the head. Didn't he blow up though at the end of I Am Legend?
Well, he blew up, like he's probably like in a bunch of little pieces.
Maybe they glue him together and then he's together like a Pinocchio boy.
The entire movie is just Michael B. Jordan sitting there with Will Smith's corpse, doing him like a jigsaw puzzle.
I would honestly, I feel like there's a premise in that. You know, I'm just saying.
You know what? That's $1 million idea.
Now, before we move on to our amazing topic this week, who wants to talk about
sex, baby?
No. How do you feel about your internet safety, Frederick? You gotta play along here. You can't.
Well, am I happy or sad about it right now?
No. Okay. Okay. Let's start over. All right, this podcast is brought to you by NordVPN, by the way. If you would like to have your internet safety be more safe, go to nordvpn.com/bhl.
What are we not? No, we have to do the play. Go on. Ask me again.
Okay, how do you feel about your internet safety, Frederick?
Not good right now.
I'm so sorry. Well, in that case, also, how do you... You've been hacked by like 1 billion hackers in that one instance.
It's just, how do you feel about your podcast? How do you feel about your internet safety? Not good. I'm sorry.
Sucks to be you. Anyway, Batman movies. Okay, and also, do you wish you could access entertainment from all around the world on websites such as Netflix and other entertainment places that don't let you do that?
I often do, you know.
Right? Same, but not same for me, because I have NordVPN, and you could too, if you use, and you can use code BHL Hudson to get 72% off a 2-year plan plus 1 month for free. Let me tell you a little bit about NordVPN real quick. They have super fast servers. They have a 30-day...
How fast?
So fast. You have no idea how fast they are. They have a 30-day money-back guarantee. They protect your data while you're traveling in public.
How do they protect it?
What do I look like, a fucking scientist? I don't know.
What do I look like, Michael B. Jordan? I'm Legend 2? I don't know.
They have 24/7 customer support, which I can actually attest to. Their customer support has been very helpful to me on the one occasion. Not that I need it often, because it's great service, but on the one time I did need it, they were very helpful.
You put yourself in a tight place here, which I can attest to because I have to call them constantly.
In all seriousness, it is a great service, and it's genuinely been extremely helpful to me. And like I said, you can use code BHLHudson or go to nordvpn.com/BHLHudson to make use of a 72% off plan for 2 years plus 1 month for free. It's also their 10-year birthday. And also, just a little note, it does actually help out your old buddy BHL Hudson if you get it. So it helps me, it helps you. And next time we do this, it'll be much more professional, I promise. I was supposed to do this before, but obviously that didn't. I was supposed to write out a thing. Obviously that didn't work out. But hey, please go to NordVPN and get it.
I like this more. This is much better.
Okay, I think we can do a happy medium between this and an actually planned one. Anyway.
No, this is the happy medium.
All right. Yeah, I'd hate to see the other end of the extreme then. Now it's time for Batman Talk with Movies. Batman. That's our new theme song.
Turn that into a theme song. Now it's time for Batman Talk with Movies. Batman.
What a joke.
What a joke.
So, for the recent release of The Batman, starring Robert Pattinson Batman, I thought it'd be a good time to talk about all the Batmans, because also we've done X-Men movies, we've done MCU movies, we've done all the stuff. We haven't done Batman movies.
Would it be all the Batmen or all the Batmans?
I don't care. So we're just going to go through all the Batman movies that we care about from 1966 to 2022 and talk about how good they are, how much of a Batman
how bad they are.
The man is, how bad they are. And
nice.
I'll explain them to Freddy because he hasn't seen most of them. First of all, and spoilers for all of them, time codes down below. First of all, Batman the movie, 1966. Adam West. I love this movie to death. I watched it like a billion times as a kid. It is, I legitimately sometime, I think this would make for a great Ben and Fred watch because it is one of the most absurd movies you'll ever see. But it's also, it has like a weird charm to it where it's kind of self-aware that it's so ridiculous. It came from this TV show where it was like, ridiculous and everything. And they all, they're wearing like the crazy costumes and there's a scene where they're solving the Riddler's riddles. And it's like, it's the most insane, like, fever dream conclusion jumping to. They're like, this riddle means the sea. Sea is in Catwoman. And like that's how they come up with it. It's like, okay, Adam. And then
this C stands for, I believe, is that cunnilingus?
Where do you find fish in the sea? The sea is in cuckolding. Robin, to the Batmobile. And it's just, they turn, of course, there's the shark spray. I'm sure you've seen that clip. It's pretty famous. And they have, like,
oh, yeah.
The villain's plan is to turn the UN into dust and just, like, vacuum them up. It's
and is the Riddler the main villain? Or?
No, it has the whole gallery. It's the most complete Batman film, one could argue. It has the Riddler. It has the Joker. It has Catwoman. It has the Penguin.
Why did you say Catwoman like you've never said it before? It's got Catwoman.
Anyway, I love it to death. There's a part where he's trying to get rid of this bomb, and he's trying to go throw it over here, and then there's a bunch of like ducks, and then he runs to the other place, and then there's like a bunch of like orphans, and then he throws the bomb at them. No.
And then he cheers and dabs.
That's the end of the movie. Credits roll over, exploding orphans. Anyway, that's what it says in the script.
Credits roll over, exploding orphans.
It's like a freeze frame. Sorry, this is way too dark. They're adult orphans, which I guess doesn't make it much worse. Or better.
They're adult orphans. What is going on? Also, the way you're saying it, it sounds like it's not a bomb exploding on them, it's just them exploding.
They just spontaneously come out. He just looks at them.
Adam West just runs towards them and just...
He gives them the classic West stare. I love that movie. It's amazing. I think it's one of the best Batman movies. I'm not even going to lie. So...
How? After what I just heard, how are you even saying that?
Well, he doesn't actually throw the bomb at the orphans.
Where does he throw them?
I don't remember where it ends up. I feel like it's been a little bit of a while since we had like a truly unhinged, poorly planned podcast. We've been a little too professional lately. And even though we have a sponsor on this one, I think it's good we're getting back to our ways of complete nonsense.
I believe a few episodes ago you asked me to do 123 wall tours. Is that you being hinged? Because that worries me.
Anyway, 10 out of 10 on that one. Next up, Michael Keaton's Batman.
The most swift move on.
Also, this is really unfortunate because I know some people like probably really would like to hear like an in-depth, interesting episode about all the Batman movies. We're just like, yeah. He throws a bomb at some orphans. Anyway, 10 out of 10. Moving on. Michael Keaton's Batman, 1989. Surely you've seen this.
I have not seen this. He's the worst.
Okay, wait, I need to compose myself here. Okay. Pretty good. Moving on.
10 out of 10.
No, I haven't seen it in a while, but I remember it being a solid time. I think Michael...
Doesn't he bring out a police baton or something and start hitting things?
What?
He does, doesn't he? Doesn't he hit something and then he goes ah?
What are you saying?
He does, doesn't he?
A police baton. He's Batman.
Or he's got some baton in his hand and he smashes a vase or something.
Oh. Yes. That's
all I know.
The infamous "Let's Get Nuts" scene.
Oh yeah, you want to get nuts? Here are my nuts.
Yeah, no, that's a great moment. I think Keaton is great in that sense where he does seem a little bit like an unhinged maniac, which I feel like Batman should be.
He does in real life. I feel like he could absolutely just snap one day and just commit multiple crimes.
I think Keaton's a lovely man in real life, probably. Never met the man. If only.
If only.
But yeah, I think it's full of iconic stuff. The music is super iconic. He does the "I'm Batman." A lot of Batman tropes come from that movie. Jack Nicholson's Joker's pretty incredible. I like I know some people complain about the look of the Joker in that movie, but I feel like it all fits in, also the costume people complain about, but I feel like it fits in that world really well. This
because it's more
it's
cartoonish, right? It's not as cartoonish as Adam West throwing bomb at orphans, but it's pretty cartoonish, right?
At the time I think it was seen as almost like the Dark Knight, where it's so much darker and grittier than the the 66 one. But in retrospect, yeah, it's very cartoonish. It's this dark gothic world in a kind of cartoonish way, which I really like. I feel like it fits. It's a great tone for these kind of films, at least at that time. And it does. I mean, the action's not amazing. It's an iconic film. It set up a lot of tropes and it has a lot of excellent stuff in it. But it's not I don't go back and rewatch it because I love this action scene, or I really love this set piece, or I think this moment's it has cool moments, but it's generally more okay, that's a great performance, and the music's iconic. It's one of those kind of classic movies almost. But
okay,
I think it's really good. The sequel is fucking absurd, and I kind of enjoy it more.
Who's the villain in the sequel?
It is in fact Danny DeVito's the Penguin and Michelle Pfeiffer's Catwoman.
Right.
Danny DeVito's the Penguin, who is the one of the most disgusting villains ever put in a superhero film. He's this horrible pervert, just this awful he's just grimy and he stabbed. What does he do? He stabbed someone in the eye at one point, maybe, or cut someone's nose off or something, and he's terrifying. I mean, not terrifying. He's just so gross in a great way. So I think that was not in a great way, but in a way that is.
He's so gross in the best way possible.
In a way that is very good for a villain in this kind of cartoon gothic horrible world. And then he's this one Tim Burton had a lot more creative control over, so it's a lot weirder. So he there's a lot more I don't know, the Penguin's running for mayor, and it's a lot more cartoonish. At one point, the Penguin has a remote-controlled Batmobile that he drives around, and then he controls the Batmobile. It's a very absurd scene.
Very strange.
But I mean, I think it also similarly it has some iconic stuff in it. Catwoman is great in it, and she does the meow, and then stuff explodes. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, she's. Would you say she's the best Catwoman?
Maybe. I did quite enjoy Zoe Kravitz, but I think.
But, I mean, Halle Berry is obviously GOAT tier. But
I didn't even remember Halle Berry. GOAT tier. That is a goated performance, if I do say so myself.
That is an S tier performance right there.
I also think this one's action is better. It's much more brutal. Batman, I'm sure you've seen Michael Keaton putting a bomb down a guy's pants and then kicking him into a sewer and then he explodes. That's the kind of
that it's Bible knowledge. I'm sure you've seen Michael Keaton kicking a bomb into some guy's ass and then kicking him down the stairs.
It's an iconic moment.
He takes inspiration from Adam West, but in a more delicate way.
It was an Easter egg, an homage to Adam West days. He also, at one point, he lights a guy on fire with the Batmobile. Like, I don't know, it's more interesting. I find it a more fun movie to watch than...
At one point, he becomes a pyromaniac. I find it thoroughly intriguing.
At one point, he commits mass arson. It's a great film, you know.
Really good for the kids.
Just in the middle of a Batman movie, he just stops and he just goes and like burns down a bunch of people's houses and like just acts. The movie goes on like nothing happened. Batman Forever. Moving on. This one I really hate with a passion.
Wait. Let's give the Keaton, or you give the Keaton one a rating.
The original I'd give like a 7-8 out of 10. And Returns I'd give like a 7.9. I think it's a worse film, but it's more fun to watch, in my opinion.
Okay.
Cool. Then we have Batman Forever with Val Kilmer. Yeah. Have you seen that?
Yeah. I've not seen that, no.
I hate this movie passionately. It's definitely my least favorite. I remember it gave me a headache. It deeply irritated me. It's the one with Jim Carrey as the Riddler and Tommy Lee Jones as Two-Face. And it's as opposed to the other two where I kind of like this like gothic but kind of cartoon world, it goes like full neon nightmare cartoon, and it's just absolutely horrendous.
But people say that the Carrey performance was pretty good, no?
I mean, I think that's being a bit generous. I love Carrey, but I mean, look, he's doing his like 90s Jim Carrey shtick, like he's like doing like the alrighty then. That was a very measured Carrey, actually. I really didn't go for it.
He's doing his whole crazy shtick. Alrighty then. Becomes McConaughey.
I'm more annoyed with Tommy Lee Jones in the film as a close personal friend of his, because he is doing the same thing as Jim Carrey, but at least Jim Carrey, like, that was his thing, and he's kind of, he's a little bit good. Like, Tommy Lee Jones just stole his whole vibe, and it doesn't work at all.
What an absolute statement. He's doing the same thing as Jim Carrey, but at least Jim Carrey's good.
But like, at least it's like his thing. Like, it looks like Jim Carrey sometimes was like on set, he was like doing his thing, and Tommy Lee Jones is like, that'd be sort of funny if I did that. And like,
no, like the intern following around the grown-up or what?
It doesn't work because like it's like a dynamic where neither of them are like the serious one, or at least like the more serious one. It's just two insane people screaming for like 2 hours in like a neon nightmare. I hate it. I guess Val Kilmer isn't terrible. Also, fun fact: Tommy Lee Jones and Jim Carrey hated each other on set, and I believe we talked about this. There's a great Mr. Sunday video about it, but at one point they ran into each other in a restaurant, I think, and Tommy Lee Jones said, and I quote to Jim Carrey, "I cannot sanction your buffoonery."
Oh, right. I cannot sanction your buffoonery.
Which is something I want to say to Tommy Lee Jones in this movie. It's like, you need to sanction your own buffoonery before you can even...
You should write to him now. Tommy Lee.
I know you're like 800 years old. I cannot sanction the
buffoonery.
And then after that, Batman and Robin with George Clooney, which is basically the same thing, but just I got slightly less annoyed by it and slightly more funny because it's so bad. Like,
yeah, it's got Mr. Freeze.
Yeah. Sorry, I think you mean to say the Ice Age.
Nice to meet you. Adam West, what are you doing with that bomb in the orphans?
Alrighty then. I'm sorry. Anyway.
Alrighty then.
That was not bad. But yeah, this one, I mean,
thank you.
It's obviously horrendous, but it's like, it's sort of funny. Like, it's more unintended. You can get more fun out of it than the other one, in my opinion. It has Mr. Freeze. It has Poison Ivy. It has Bane. Yeah, and I mean, George Clooney is not great as Batman.
He's got bat nipples.
He does.
Bibbles,
Robin
some might say.
Robin's really annoying. They have Batwoman or Batgirl in it, and has this plot about robot Alfred in a computer. Not a good movie, surprisingly.
They've got the Bat card that he never leaves the cave without.
I'm glad you've seen that part. So yeah, but solid 3s and 4s out of 10 on those. So you decide which one.
Nice.
Or maybe 2s, okay. I don't know. Then we move on to the Nolan time.
The Nolan era.
Great
movies.
I love all of these movies, actually, all 3 of them. And unlike the others, completely unironically.
I think Batman Begins is the weakest of them all. I
don't want to say Batman Begins is my favorite, but I I remember watching it and thinking like
controversial take.
It's
Ghostbusters 2.0.
It's the most cartoonish of them. It's like the most kind of like superhero movie-ish. Like the others are kind of like very serious. I feel like they gradually get more and more kind of serious Nolan movies. Like the first one's a bit more of like a fun superhero movie. Dark Knight's like in this happy medium. You know, it's obviously very dark and gritty, but like it still has like superhero movie elements. And then the last one is mostly like dark and gritty. And I have to say, Batman, it just, I don't know. I know it has a dumb plot.
It's a jovial time.
Yeah. Like Scarecrow making all the water into air or whatever. I mean, that's not exactly what it is, but you know, something like that.
Making all the water into air.
You know, so he's going to microwave all the water and then it's going to be scare gas or whatever. But,
classic Scarecrow.
But I don't know, I remember being, and I haven't seen it since, and I should really rewatch it. I remember being very, just also like a definitive version of that origin, like, even though we're so sick of it now, like that's like the perfect version of like, you know, the parents shot outside the cinema or the theater, and then the training with Ra's al Ghul, the Ra's al Ghul twist, Neeson, great villain, Cillian Murphy, great villain, like it's, yeah. Honestly, yeah, really, and I love the costume. I love, like, yeah, his origin, how he becomes Morgan Freeman. Not how he becomes Morgan Freeman.
His origin and how he just morphs into Morgan Freeman.
It's really impressive.
That's my favorite part of the Nolan era. You see Bale staring into a mirror and then slowly he just
or no, Bale
becomes Freeman.
Just in between shots, it'll just switch actor. They never address it.
That'd be so funny. Bale puts on the mask, goes out and fights, comes back to the Batcave, takes off mask, he's just Morgan Freeman. And movie continues on as if nothing's ever happened.
But yeah, I love it. And well, yeah, what any other thoughts on it from you?
I mean, I don't. It's so long since I've seen it. I don't remember much. I like the whole. I don't have to kill you, but I'm not gonna save you either. So, stuff like that from Morgan Freeman. From Bale. I think it's a good movie, but I think it is the weakest of the three.
Fair enough. It's the least. I think it's the least impactful of the three. Like it's the one that's like the most fun. I think that's probably why
it does set it up a bit. I guess like it's the origin story, so it has to be there. But
yeah, as an origin, it's one of the best superhero origins. Definitely, I would say. Mm-hmm. Then the Dark Knight is basically just everything you want like a sequel to be. Like it expands on everything in that world. It's
such a good movie.
Yeah, it's just extremely. I remember. This is not like a super useful description of a movie in a review, but like I remember just being like extremely captivating. Like I just like didn't want to look away. Like it was just very like intense and like
it gripped you. It pulled you in.
It's
also because of the realism of it. Like you know, it's something that whilst it wouldn't happen obviously, but like it's something that could happen. Mm-hmm. It's whereas like the whole like Scarecrow thing that is a bit ridiculous, you know.
Yeah, and like obviously Heath Ledger's performance is amazing. Every performance in these films is amazing. What's his name is Tommy Lee, not as Two-Face, as Tommy Lee Two-Face.
What's his face?
It's very good as well. I would have loved to see a Nolan version of the Riddler. That would have been pretty cool.
I think that would have been quite cool.
And just like a really well written story. Also like the emotional impact on Bruce is pretty interesting. And I mean the whole love story with whatever her name is, it's not Rachel McAdams.
Rachel?
Oh yeah, I guess the character's called Rachel. Not crazy about that in these movies.
No,
but
I don't love it either. I've never really paid that much attention to it, and like whenever she dies, it's not exactly a hard hitting thing for me.
No, and also
it's kind of like she's dead. And then Harvey becomes Tommy Lee Jones.
God, what a nightmare. I also think like the action is way better in The Dark Knight. Like Batman Begins, one of the biggest problems. The action is not great. The action's way better in The Dark Knight. It's incredible. It's realistic. It's intense. The costume's great. It has just the right amount of Batman action. Yeah. And, like, occasional bits of humor. Like, it's not like a dreary film to watch, It's just super intense, well-made. It's a classic for a reason.
It is a classic for a reason.
And then The Dark Knight Rises, a lot of people hate. I
do not get why people... I do not get why people hate it. I think it's a good movie.
I get that he spends most of it in a fucking hole in the ground, and like
I get that there's not a lot of Batman in it, which does suck.
But like 90% of it is him trying to jump from like a platform to another platform and then like breaking his back again all over. But that's very entertaining to me. But I could watch that for hours. I love seeing people in pain. Yeah, it is definitely like the most dreary, the most kind of the least.
I think it's got one of the coolest openings to superhero movies. Like I think the Dark Knight is slightly better, but then this one is a close second, I think, of all like Batman openings, like the whole plane hijack with Bane and stuff like that.
Wait, it's just scenes like
That's
that
so
where it's
cool.
like it's stuff that you don't find in like the average superhero movie. And I'm not trying to be that guy, like, oh, they're all just like factory made, whatever, because they're not. But like scenes like that, they're like super intense and like stick with you forever, like not forever, but until the day you die, you remember. It would be extremely
On my
painful.
deathbed, I'll remember Bane saying,
Or perhaps he's wondering why you choose to shoot a man before throwing him out of a plane.
Gotham.
Gotham! Nice to meet you.
That is the way you were introduced to the BHL Hudson 72% off audience.
It was.
With Bane impression. So
with a Bane impression.
Classic
And look where we
times.
are now.
It's doing the same fucking thing like 8 years later.
The exact same thing.
Doing the same tired jokes as they're just a little more hungover and ragged. There was so much hope in our eyes back then. Anyway.
Back then when I enjoyed doing Bane impressions.
I mean, yeah, Bane, Tom Hardy, it's a bit of a meme with the Bane voice, but he is great and jacked, but not inhumanly jacked. Just like really jacked. You know what I'm saying?
But just the right amount of jack that I feel like I can still cuddle with him.
I guess, like, again, some people hate the ending. I thought it was a pretty satisfying ending. Bit of an emotional ending, too. I feel like this is the most emotional I've gotten watching a Batman movie. I bawled my eyes out at the opening scene. But, yeah.
When
And
Bane told that one henchman to stay behind the plane,
I'll expect one of us in the wreckage, brother.
I just cried.
and yeah, good action when it is there. Yeah, not as good as The Dark Knight, in my opinion, but a really great film. And then I guess we should do Batman v Superman real quick.
I guess we'll hit on Affleck.
Because it's, because he also shows up in in Suicide Squad and Justice League, and he's going to be in The Flash and Batgirl. Oh, no, sorry, that's going to be Keaton. God. But
Whenever you say Keaton, I keep thinking Keegan. And I'm like, that would be a great Batman.
imagine Keegan as Batman. Oh,
God.
yummy.
The absolute scenes. Oh, yummy, yummy. Keegan as Batman.
Hubba. Daddy in trouble. Sorry, anyway.
What is going on?
I don't know. Batman v Superman, Dawn of Justice. We saw this as a Woody.
Never in my life would I expect you to say hubba, daddy and trouble on the podcast. We're talking about Keegan in a Batman suit.
This was the second Woody movie, actually.
It was.
And we were pretty underwhelmed by it. It was a very similar feeling to Spectre. We were pretty underwhelmed. I mean, I think it's...
There's a reason that our friendship took so long to take off.
The reason we started the podcast only a year after that. I think it has some really great stuff in it. And if we're talking specifically Batman stuff, like, he's clearly the best part of that. Yes, he murders people, like, ruthlessly. But, like, that warehouse scene, probably the best Batman action we've ever seen. I mean, the Batman has some great stuff as well, but...
No, the warehouse scene is some awesome Batman action.
Yeah, and, like, again, he's a little bit irrational. I think it's also, like... That character's just been ruined by, like, how weird that universe went with, like, Suicide Squad and then Justice League and then another version of Justice League and, like...
No, because I do think Affleck was a good Batman.
I would have loved to see, like, his solo movie.
Mm-hmm. Same.
But overall, yeah, the movie, it has some great, like, visuals and some great concepts and, like, exciting stuff, and then just has, like, such weird decisions. I mean, we've talked about...
Yeah, we've talked about this movie a lot.
Not a man I
like,
would like to fight.
What do you say?
It was my Eisenberg impression. Huh. I love bringing people together and drinking piss out of a jar. Huh.
I love getting pissed on.
I have a strange fetish. I'm sorry, I can't do this. But overall, weird movie. Not good. I like parts of it, but overall, as a product, a bit of a mess. We've talked about it before.
We have.
The Joker movie, I guess he's technically in that. The Lego Batman movie is quite a lot of fun. And then finally, the Patman. Guess we can quickly...
Is he in the Joker?
Well, no, but technically, little boy Bruce Wayne is. So.
I still haven't seen Joker.
Oh, right. Shame on you. But the Patman, we've now come to finally.
Patman, yes.
Thoughts?
I really liked it. I really, really liked it. I think, as you said, like when we talked about it last week, the only real thing was that it did feel like there was like a lot of different endings.
Yeah.
That all felt like it could be the end of the movie, but then just jumped to the next one. Like, it still worked, I think, but like I did sit there and think, oh yeah, there's a lot of different like endings that need to be like that are getting tied up here at the end. But otherwise, I thought it was so good.
Yeah. Great action, great detecting and mob stuff.
There was a lot of detecting, as you said. I really liked it. It was because it didn't feel like a straight up action movie, as you said. It was just like, it was gritty. It was a thriller. It was kind of Seven-esque, I think.
Yeah, like Seven. Yeah, it was very much like a superhero Seven kind of vibe. Mm-hmm. Spoilers. What did you think of the circus explosion? The most poignant point in the film.
What did you think of the circus explosion? Well, as an ultimate frisbee player, I have to say I did appreciate Circus's form as he absolutely backhanded the bomb away.
That's a good insight there.
I know, it was good form, and you can tell that the man works out. But I mean, I don't have much to say. It was
I don't know. I didn't really lay you up there for anything interesting, but that you pulled something out of your ass, which I appreciate.
You like, it was
Pattinson?
Like, it led to the most emotional moment, I'd say, like in the hospital.
I did find it a little funny where Alfred like wakes up from like a 2-week coma. He's like, his brain's still like shattered all over the place, and the first thing Bruce is like, "You fucking lied to me, Alfred." He's probably thinking like, "Where am I? Who are you?"
Alfred. The last thing Alfred remembers is actually throwing the biggest backhand disc bomb, and he wakes up with just Pattinson staring at him, insulting him.
"You motherfucker!"
He opens his eyes. Pattinson's just sitting on him, just about to strangle him. Piece of shit.
He opens his eyes, just a swift backhand comes his way.
He opens his eyes, the bomb's still flying directly towards him.
Pattinson has been standing there for weeks just in this position, ready to hurl it. As soon as his eyes flicker up, toss. What do you think of Pattinson, Kravitz, Dano?
I really, really liked Pattinson as Batman. I think it was a strange choice at first, but I think he pulls it off well. I don't think he would suit the role in like the Affleck world or the Bane world, the Bale world. But in this world, it just works.
Yeah, I struggle to see him like in a Justice League scenario, but I don't think that's the direction they're taking it. I think
it's not. Well, it's a lot more gritty and grounded version. I can definitely see it.
Yeah, they changed a bunch of stuff for like this movie, like in terms of lore and whatever. Like Catwoman is the daughter of so and so, and you know, he's a reclusive billionaire, and his parents were actually, you know, his dad did this bad thing. Again, that's also what I thought was really interesting, is it's like this, weirder, like not weirder, like different exploration of like morality, like with his dad in this like gray area, and he did this bad thing, but he didn't mean to do this bad thing, and it's like, and then how the Riddler like all does that. What do you think? What do you think the Riddler's? Like,
I think the Riddler was a really good villain. Like, the actor plays it off so well.
He was great, and then of course there's a little bit of a Joker tease. Which
there is a Joker tease. Do you know who that is?
It is, and you're not gonna like it. It's Johnny Depp. No, is
it the guy from Gotham?
No, I'm pretty certain. Let me just make sure.
It's Andy Serkis.
It is Barry Keoghan, who is in fact Druig from the Eternals.
No.
Yep.
Why would they have him?
He's a good actor. I mean, he was great. I think he's great in The Green Knight, even though he's there very briefly. He's great in like other stuff I've seen him in. And like in The Eternals, he's not bad. Like that movie's his character's kind of a bit whack.
Druig's the worst as Gilgamesh. No, as Kingu. What's
Kingu, yeah.
The guy's name? Kingu.
But he also, I mean, he plays it well. Even though his character's the worst, he plays it well. I guess. I don't know. I mean, I would have probably picked someone else, but I'm not mad at it, personally. You go, Barry Keoghan. Sorry. I'm in Ireland. I should know how to say these names now. I finally learned how to pronounce, like, Neve.
Peter.
Finally learned how to pronounce Barry.
Finally learned how to pronounce Benedict.
I'm slowly coming to grasp with Tom. Anyway, it's great movie. Any other thoughts before we
No, just honestly, it's really, really good movie. I thoroughly enjoyed. I didn't think it was too long. Like, I think it worked.
Yeah.
Like, it's a long movie, but I wasn't bored at any point. I liked Colin Farrell, Der Coachman as Penguin. Yeah. Unrecognizable, but great. And I think Catwoman was, as you said, like, nice twist to the Catwoman. The whole thing there, just a really good movie
and great action. A lot of bones breaking. A lot of.
I also like. Oh, there was one question I had, which might, like, it's not a major thing, but the one thing I had with the movie was that there's a attempt on Bruce Wayne's life, right? But then it doesn't come off. But like, why is that?
From the Riddler?
The Riddler just kind of like seems like he tries to kill him and then he just doesn't afterwards. Whereas like he seems very thorough with the rest of his victims.
Well, I think it's because he knows he's Batman at that point.
But then why did he send the thing in the first place?
Because he hates Andy Serkis? Well, maybe he didn't know he was Batman, and then after that he figures it out, and then he's like, gotta not kill that man because I need him to do something for his plan. You know, they always need Batman to do something. You know, for the world's greatest detective, he certainly falls into a lot of villains' plans often.
Yeah.
But whatever. Not specifically this Batman. I just mean in all the movies in general. Like, it's always like, there's also a moment where the villain's like, it's too late now, and then he runs out of the room and then some shit explodes. Like, just like, right next to him. Yeah, and I also, the whole ending with like the water and stuff, very intense and very like, actually has like consequences. Good movie, as we've stated.
Very good movie. Yeah.
Well, now it is time for
the Timecodes.
Tom Cruise campaigned for John Carter, but the director wanted Taylor Kitsch instead, from the playlist.net. So, apparently, Tom Cruise wanted to be in John Carter. I'm not reading this article, but from this headline, I'm gathering that Tom Cruise wanted to star in John Carter, the unsuccessful 2012 box office bomb about, like, a space warrior. So, great.
Is John Carter the one where there's, like, a huge white hairy monster?
Yeah. But Tom Cruise actually wasn't in it, so no. Haha. Classic.
Nice.
Anyway.
Very good.
Yeah. Anyway, good for you, Tom Cruise, for not getting that, I guess.
Yeah.
And now it's time for the announcements and such. Oh, yeah, so this is being recorded before the new pod goes up later today, so it's actually a whole thing. Whatever. So here's some comments, though, that we have from this time. Cal W says, still waiting for Benedict and Freddie to name their second podcast Too Poorly Too Planned. Not a bad idea. 2 peas in a pod also wouldn't be bad, but I'll
2 peas in a pod would not be bad.
I'll take Too Poorly Too Planned. Movie Guy says you should watch the new trailer for Brad Pitt's Bullet Train. It looks like a perfect Woody. I just included that because he wrote this before the episode came out, where I even said it looked like a perfect Woody. So predictive powers, Movie Guy. And nice. Jaden Salked had some pod ideas and thought I'd put them here. Favorite and least favorite movie and TV characters, worst movies you've ever seen, favorite pod moments, Freddy's Anime Hour, but for an actual hour, definitely not. And finally, a live-action reenactment of the movie Dog, with BHL playing the dog and Freddy playing Tatum. You're welcome, BHL. I like how somehow this would be a present to me. You mauling me
as
to
I munch on you.
Yeah. But most
as
of those...
I hunt you through the house.
Most of those were great, except for the anime one. But thank you for the suggestions. I put them in the idea box. Kian sent in the movie Let's Be Cops. I mean, he didn't send in the movie, but he sent in the poster for the movie, and he said...
He just created the movie for the sole person.
He said, if you watch it like it's a prequel to New Girl, it's the best thing ever. I have actually wanted to watch that for a while now. So, might be a shot, you know. Let's Be Cops. Nick Miller, Coach. Good stuff. And then finally on the fan page, we have It's Morbius March. And it also says there's no current way to dislike a post on Instagram. That is a shame, given that it's Morbius March. And then finally, and Cinema Geek also sent this in. Good shout from Cinema Geek and Kian. And I think Kian sent this in on the email as well. But a crazy moment.
An insane moment.
Crazy crossover of proportions I was not ready for. But on episode 424 at 1 hour, 36 minutes, and 53 seconds of the Weekly Planet podcast, they do, in fact, say the words Tom Cnews.
They do.
This is from Zachary.
Hello,
He says,
Zachary.
my hometown is an official Tom Cruise day. This isn't associated with our podcast really in any way, but I love Tom Cruise-related news.
Sure.
Hi, James and Maso. Thought you guys would be interested
Tom Cnews. You're better at that than me.
I would have said Tom Cnews, though, so that's good.
Yeah.
That's insane.
Just because...
I got Jay quite hyped for it. I was like, what a fun little...
Cinema Geek sent it in, and he was like, there's a kind of a reference to your podcast. And I was like, what could kind of a reference to our podcast be? And then I was like, okay, Tom Cruise. And then he's like, Tom Cnews. I'm like, oh my God. So what a crossover.
What's happening?
To hear the inspiration for this podcast saying our dumbest part of this podcast, and they just said it as a throwaway gag, and yet we turned it into a running theme for hundreds of episodes.
And yet it's in every single episode.
Also, I like how the way they came up with it is a pretty good reenactment of how we came up with that, where it's just someone said Tom Cruise News, and one of us went, how about Tom Cnews? We're like, that's good. We should say that every week for the next 3 years of our life. Anyway.
That's brilliant. We should incorporate that in every single episode.
Yeah. Well, that has been the podcast this week. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, go to nordvpn.com/BHLHudson. No, yeah, thank you.
But only if you enjoyed.
I hope you enjoyed this episode. If you did, drop a like, subscribe, hit the bell button, leave a comment on your favorite Batman things and other things, and how much you love NordVPN down below. Also, you can, we're on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and if you listen there, please give us a 5-star rating. We're up to like 35-star ratings or something. Yeah, we're 26 ratings. Let's go. Thank you, guys.
Nice.
And yeah, you can find me on YouTube, BHL Hudson, Instagram, Twitter, BHL_Hudson. You can email the pod at bhlhudsonvids@gmail.com.
You can find me on Twitter at FTK_DalsNiber. You can find me on Instagram at Fidalgard and on YouTube at FTK_Gaming.
Thank you very much for listening, and we will see you next time.
Patman.
Beautiful.